for the USGS, and I try to help USGS make better maps. And in particular, I'm looking at how to better engage citizens in helping us make better maps. Which is actually something the USGS has been doing for about a decade and a half. Initially, we had people like hand edit topo sheets and send them to us, you know, really simple stuff. And then people used GPSs, and then we had a web-based system. But all these systems had the same problem. Once they sent us the data, we said, well, it's not authoritative. So it all ended up in a filing cabinet in Rolla, Missouri. So what is this concept of authoritative when it comes to maps? I Googled it, and I found out first, National Geo has some concept of authoritative. They claim that this is one of the most authoritative maps of Ireland, which makes me wonder what the Irish think of that. And they say it right there. I emailed them and I heard back. So I got to ask some big geo geeks about this, and Ed Parsons sidestepped it and basically made the statement that Google Maps and OpenStreetMap are not authoritative. I also asked my boss's boss's boss, Carrie Cron, the same question. And Carrie, interestingly, cited Webster's dictionary and gave this, really workable definition. But the fact that she cited Webster is kind of interesting because on the internet, when you draw information from another source, it's considered non-authoritative. It's error 203. But Carrie's definition, it gives us a good place to start. So the first aspect of it is gained in official capacity. And the USGS for over 125 years has had a series of congressional directives and executive orders that have established our authority in making maps of the US. And as far as accuracy goes, people like Mookie Hockley have shown, well, volunteer data is very accurate relative to authoritative sources like Ordnance Survey. So you got the official aspect and you've got the accuracy source aspect. What's missing? So that's been part of our project at the USGS called the OSMCP. I'm not going to go into too many details about it because I want to mostly talk about the results. But we had some students help us generate or produce some better data in Denver. And initially we had some criticism. This is from Sophia Parafina. And her criticism was, well, you should just let people map whatever they want and kind of harvest the good bits. Well, we looked at that. So, what's going on in OpenStreetMap? Just a quick overview. This is our area of interest. So the 4 quads, topographic quads, kind of centered over Denver. And topo quads are this historical legacy aspect of USGS mapping. But it gives us a nice footprint. So some USGS data called GNIS was loaded into OpenStreetMap in 2009, and that's kind of how it looks spread out across those 4 quads. These 4 quads are actually really, really interesting because MapQuest's office is smack dab in the middle. Steve Coast himself, the founder of OpenStreetMap, lived there for almost 2 years, and State of the Map 2011 happened in the middle of these 4 quads. So you'd think that this data would be improved quite a bit. Well, here it was before OpenStreetMap, or State of the Map, and the darker red spots are pieces of data where somebody in the OpenStreetMap community has made some improvement to it. The data that fades away is stuff that hasn't been changed. Here it is after State of the Map. In OpenStreetMap, the willy-nilly just let people do whatever doesn't result in, it results in these real spatial autocorrelation aspects. Like you have this grouping down here where Steve lived and centered around downtown Denver. So we need to fix this, right? So here's our initial data in our OSMCP thing. Kind of the same even distribution. And we had our students go through and systematically try to improve the data, or edit the data, or fix whatever they felt wasn't right. All the things that turned red are places where they made some sort of change. Then we asked them to check each other's work. We asked our volunteers to check their own work, do their quality control. And as it gets darker red and a little bigger, that's where the data has gotten better. And I actually have some numbers someplace, not in this presentation, but numbers that show that this data is better than it was originally. But the most important thing was the spatial distribution of that. It was evenly distributed across the entire data. So authoritative mapping depends on quality. Quality is not just accuracy, also completeness. And completeness really benefits from the structured process that we ended up using. And that was it.